Our former top cop calls for radical action to tackle child sex abuse in the Pilbara. A chaotic cow sets a new record at the Royal Show. And grand final footy makes history in the southwest.
Live across Western Australia, GWN7 News with Noel Brunning.
Good evening. First tonight, WA's former top cop has called for dramatic changes to liquor supplies in the Pilbara. Carlo Callahan says urgent community action is needed to fight the child sex abuse crisis happening in the region. He spoke to GWN7 News today from Mongolia.
Our Pilbara region is facing a child sex abuse crisis, and according to former WA Police Commissioner Carlo Callahan, urgent action, namely alcohol restrictions, is needed immediately.
The problem with child abuse in Roebourne is probably one of the worst we've ever seen in Western Australia and possibly Australia.
Mr Callahan, today speaking to GWN7 News from Mongolia, says nearly 200 children have been abused in a town of around 1,500. The statistics, he says, are without precedent, and immediate action needs to be taken to stop further harm in the community. He believes the single most important step is to impose alcohol restrictions.
Around the type of strength of alcohol that can be sold, so no stronger perhaps than mid-strength. Secondly, a look at the days on which alcohol can be sold, particularly targeting things like welfare days.
Mr Callahan says as things stand currently, only slashing supply will address excessive consumption. And he says the restrictions are necessary despite Roebourne being a dry community where a booze ban is already in place.
It is surrounded by communities that are not dry. So it's a very short journey to places like Wickham, it's a very short journey to places like Karratha, where there are no restrictions on what people can buy.
Premier Mark McGowan has previously said the Pilbara community must be consulted before any ban on full-strength beer is imposed, and any such ruling would require a full inquiry. Mei-Lin Chu, GWN7 News.
Police are investigating how a car smashed into a retirement village unit in Albany on Saturday night. Police say it's a miracle the two residents, who are both in their 90s, weren't killed.
It wasn't an average Saturday night for this retirement village in Albany. Around 10 o'clock, a Holden Commodore failed to stop at the intersection of David Street and Ulster Road and smashed into this home.
Vehicles kept going, taken out the back wall to one of the units, continued into the unit, and it's finally come to rest after it's taken out some internal stud walls inside the kitchen. 97-year-old Lucy Winlow lives here with her 95-year-old husband Robert. She was watching TV while he was in the bedroom. By luck, both out of harm's way.
I was in the Blitz in London, and it really did sound like one of those bombs. And there was a car in the middle of the sitting room.
The driver is a 40-year-old local woman. She was trapped in the vehicle by debris and had to be freed. Police say she was aggressive and abusive.
She wasn't too cooperative with the police, I have to say. She had to be handcuffed for her own safety.
She was taken to hospital with very minor injuries. The elderly couple weren't hurt at all. Police need to wait for the driver's blood test results, which will take a couple of weeks.
Early evidence suggests that speed and alcohol were two major factors in this crash.
And Mrs Winlow has a secret to keeping her cool.
Well, I did yoga for 20 years, and I think that helps a lot because you really can relax when you need to.
The couple are staying in a motel for now.
You have to sit down and think very hard what we're going to do.
Stephanie Garnett, GWN7 News.
Another Bunbury jewellery store has been targeted by thieves. This time it was the Zamel store in Bunbury's Centrepoint shopping centre. Police say thieves smashed their way in last night, forcing the door open. It's too early to say what the thieves got away with or what the damage bill is. The robbery comes just 4 days after thieves raided the Goldmark jewellery shop at the Bunbury Forum. It's not known if the two burglaries are connected. It was a sad start to the long weekend, with WA police confirming a man in his 60s has died after his car crashed into a tree in the state's southwest on Friday. And with storm conditions across parts of the southwest, motorists have been warned to take care on wet roads.
The driver of this Hyundai Excel, a man in his 60s from Perth, has died despite being cut from the wreckage and flown to Perth for treatment. The crash happened on Friday afternoon in Stratham when the car veered off the road and crashed into a tree. It's been a busy weekend for the RAC rescue helicopter. Earlier that day at around 2 p.m, the helicopter was used to fly a woman to Royal Perth Hospital after a motorcycle hit a car on Bindi Bindi 2J Road, 2 kilometres north of Kalangiri, north of Perth. She is currently in a stable condition. Then around 5 p.m. on the Friday, a man was flown to RPH, this time after a mountain bike accident on Southampton Road near the intersection of Bridgetown Road in Balingup. He's also in a stable condition. And on Saturday, the rescue chopper was sent to a motorcycle crash in Bridgetown. The injured man was again flown to Perth after crashing on Gifford Road near the intersection of Turner Road. He's in a serious but stable condition. And a man was injured after a motorcycle crash in Flint, southeast of Perth on Metro Road near the intersection with Brookton Highway. And motorists have been reminded to pay attention to tide levels. Broome Police tweeted this photo saying this is what big Broome tides can do to vehicles and warned motorists to plan their parking. Meanwhile, Mundijong Police tweeted about stopping a driver who was 3 times over the legal limit with a 2-year-old child in the car. And with double demerits still in place, Kojonup Police tweeted, "We saw the sign unlike the motorist who received an $800 and 12 demerit infringement in an 80k zone." Maylin Chu, GWN7 News.
It's been a day of heavy rain and floods in parts of the Great Southern. Overnight, Albany recorded nearly half of its normal monthly rainfall in just over 10 hours.
There's no denying it. Today was a very wet day in Albany. Heavy rainfall caused flooding on some roads, with drivers warned to be careful. This drone vision was filmed just before 10 o'clock this morning in Willyoong, just out of town. Jeff Hume has been working in farms around Albany for a decade, and he's never seen flooding like this.
It's unusual, really, because 5 Mile Creek and 7 Mile Creek have just risen so fast after that rain we've had. And it's just flooded everything out.
Jeff says this weather is bad for the pastures and not good for the cattle.
The drains are just blocking up and it's just, filling back and flooding the farm out and all that, yeah.
At Albany Airport, over 48 millimetres of rain fell between 10:30 last night and 9 a.m. this morning. That's almost half the average rainfall for the whole month of September. It's all because of this low pressure system, which is lying over the western south coast and producing areas of heavy rainfall, mostly over Albany and Mount Barker. Moderate falls and more flash flooding is possible over the next couple of days. And these pictures were sent in from the wheat belt, where Merredin saw 3 small hail showers early this afternoon. Stephanie Garnett, GWN7 News.
Shorter joins us now with a more detailed look at today's weather from right around the state.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. A big state with plenty happening on the map. That low pressure system over the southwest corner of WA has, as we've seen, brought the heavy rainfall. It is moving east and still some heavy showers in that, but we have started to see just a few patches of sunshine return to the far west. As for our north, well, that's under the influence of a rather broad trough sort of sitting through there, so it is clear skies and certainly warm temperatures. Wyndham had our highest maximum, 40 degrees, 29 for Broome, gusty winds, and 27 for Karratha today. Exmouth got to that 26. Further down our west coast, 23 for Carnarvon, while Geraldton reached 20 just after 2 p.m. A cool day for parts of inland WA. For Kalgoorlie, 19 degrees. And look, a cold Monday further south, a little bit of sunshine, 17 for Bunbury. Albany only managed 11 degrees just after 3 p.m. Our overnight low was 5 at Manjimup and Wandering, while a top of 17 there for Esperance. Now, the rain map looks very colourful. Widespread falls, as we've already seen. The heaviest official reports coming from the south coast. 70 millimetres at Metla and, of course, that 48 mils at Albany Airport, and some very welcome reports right through the wheat belt. I'll have the latest on the rain and the forecast for your place right after sport.
Thank you, Shauna. Coming up, a chaotic cow sets a royal record. Plus fashion, fascinators and fillies. The Kalgoorlie Race Round wraps up with the biggest party in town.
Stay in touch 24/7 with GWN7 News.
186th Royal Show kicked off over the weekend. Poor weather has put a dampener on things for the first couple of days, but it didn't stop Winston the steer from setting a Royal Show record.
The organisers of the show wouldn't have liked the weather this morning, but it didn't stop the animals from putting on a show.
We've had some rain over the last couple of days, but we're the Royal Agriculture Society and it's been fantastic for our agricultural regions to have the rain. It's millions of dollars of economic benefit to this state.
Showgoers were also looking at the positives as they battled the conditions this morning.
Other undercover activities for the kids to see and have fun with, so yeah, still a good day out even though it is a bit wet.
It's about the kids and us getting a good feed.
Yeah, that as well, man. It's all about the food.
I like the agriculture side of it. So.
Yeah. We've had 2 baby goats born overnight. You know, it's part of farm life. You know, it's about of bringing the farm to the city so that the children and families can enjoy, you know, the beautiful part of nature that is animal rearing and producing some of the fantastic produce that our state does.
The sun is shining as I stand here in front of the Taste WA Pavilion, which showcases award-winning produce from across WA. Just one of the ways the Royal Show shows off the best that regional WA has to offer. Dardanup farmer Peter Milton and his steer Winston set a record this morning when Winston sold for $8,000 as a part of the Black Dog Ride steer sale. You may remember Winston from when he caused a scene outside Parliament House a couple of weeks ago as a part of a regional mental health campaign.
It's all about mental health and supporting the agencies that support mental health with such a big issue in rural areas, and it's something we've got to recognise. And yeah, look, Winston went for a little bit of a tour of Kings Park when he visited Parliament the other week, but you know what, that brought attention to the issue.
Luke Shipway, GWN7 News.
A Christian Aboriginal school has been named Secondary School of the Year by the Science Teachers Association of WA. It's the first time a regional school or an Indigenous school has won the title.
These are Einsteins in the making, and these boffins are from the bush. Located almost 600 kilometres from Perth, CAP's Kalgadi has been named Secondary School of the Year at the 2017 Science Talent Search Awards.
It's a huge honour, really wonderful experience for our students. And I think it's a testament to our staff and our school where we focus a lot on innovation.
CAP's beat 32 mostly metropolitan schools to claim the prize, and it's the first time a regional or Indigenous school has ever won it.
The world is there for you to experience and do anything, and all it takes is hard work. It takes belief in yourself.
The winning experiments included creating biofuels from natural waste resources, making edible and biodegradable plastics, examining cloud formations and the anatomy of bees.
Science is very important to the kids now, especially we are now in this technology age and everything.
And the kids love it.
Inspiring to continue and to go bigger.
Well, yeah, we get to do new things every day.
I love science.
The national competition is in Melbourne later this year, and if they do well, they could go on to represent Australia in the USA.
And that's our ultimate goal with this program, is to use it as a vehicle to inspire our kids to want to enjoy science and education.
Brendan Crew, GWN News.
Well done. It was an exciting end to Kalgoorlie's race round this year. Thousands of racegoers packed the city for its biggest party of the year. And to top it off, the top prize, the coveted Kalgoorlie Cup, was a Goldfields triumph.
It's the race that stops the Goldfields. Not even the rain could stop the thousands of punters packing the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club yesterday for the biggest event in the Goldfields racing calendar. And while most were on their best behaviour, some had a bit too much fun. As race days go, high fashion was still the favoured look, although some opted for a more unique style.
Lost my voice, I've only been here for a day and a half.
But when all eyes turned to the main event, the Goldfields came out as the winners. Kalgoorlie-owned horse and this year's favourite, Shintamani, blitzed the competition, taking out the $130,000 Kalgoorlie Cup. And the win was so much sweeter for the region because she was ridden by Coolgardie born and bred champion jockey William Pike.
Feels like a hometown cup. I've run second in it about 3 or 4 times. It feels great to be on the other end and actually win it.
It reaches out beyond racing
the entire community benefits. A lot of people with accommodation, hospitality, the suppliers for the event, everyone benefits. And
this could be the last time the Kalgoorlie Cup is held on a Sunday. The racing club is hoping to secure it as a standalone event to attract a wider field and punters from all over the country.
Looking to have a 10-day break between the Boulder Cup and Hannan's Cup, and then Hannan's Handicap, and then the Kalgoorlie Cup the following weekend. But whether that be a Saturday or a Sunday is still yet to be determined.
Kate Ryan, GWN7 News.
Regional board riders surf to victory. That's coming up next in sport. Plus, a history-making win for the Bunbury Bulldogs in the Southwest Footy Grand Final. The Bunbury Bulldogs have made Southwest Football League history, first taking out the women's premiership and now the men's. The Bulldogs clashed with HBL Lions at the weekend and brought home the flag with a convincing win.
No one could rain on the Bulldogs parade, not even the weather. The grand final showdown got off to a slow start, but once the Bulldogs found their feet, there was no stopping them. 3 behind opened the scoring for the Dogs before Brett Peake put away the first goal. The Bulldogs clearly out for redemption after their loss to HBL in the semi-final. Harry Creasy stretching the Bulldogs' lead. The Lions struggling to find their feet in the wet conditions, and the Bulldogs made a day of it, increasing the lead to 27 points. A yellow card against HBL gifted the Bulldogs another behind, the Lions failing to put points on the board in the first quarter. A missed shot at goal finally put the Lions on the board, even if it was just 1 point. With the grand final on the line, tensions flared. The Bulldogs leading comfortably at half-time, 16-36. Both sides defending furiously in the third, with scoring grinding to a halt. Matthew Martin breaking the drought and pushing the Bulldogs' lead to 26 points. Refusing to give up, HBL trailed by 31 points at the final break, 2-6-17 to 7-6-48.
We work all the way. Okay, we don't throw it in. Okay, stranger things have happened, boys. And like I said, I still feel like we've got goals in us.
But the Lions just couldn't find their form. Aidan Clark flying above the pack, proving why he was voted best on ground. And it was the Dogs' day out, Matthew Martin comfortably putting away 2 unanswered goals, running down the clock to victory. The win breaking a 16-year grand final drought for Bunbury.
To be a coach and to lead 22 blokes that were outstanding is just a great feeling.
Certainly a sense of disappointment. Very proud of the guys to get to this position, and yeah, but we didn't perform at our best today. And full credit to Bunbury, they deserve the win.
Simone Kerr, GWN7 News.
Our regional surfers put on a show at the weekend, taking out all 3 podium positions at the Surf Boardroom Surf League comp at Trigg Beach. Conditions were tough, but surfers made the most of them. Margaret River posting a combined team score of 85.89.
A few sections and stuff like that, and all the boys are ripping. There was a good turnout this year. We had a lot of teams. And stoked to come away with the win again. Yeah, all the boys pulled through.
Yallingup took out second place with a combined team score of 73.65 and Geraldton in third with 73.93. Shauna's back next with a look at your working week weather and then ahead in 7 News. Exclusive video, watch as a man's life is saved. Now, Fuel Watch, keeping you informed on where to find the cheapest fuel prices where you live across WA. For a larger list of towns, check the Fuel Watch website online or phone 1300 304 054. Let's take a look at your weather forecast. And Shauna, still some rain about?
Yes, look, for a couple more days in the south, we should see that low move to be sort of southeast, pretty much of probably Esperance by later tomorrow. Showers are forecast to reach southwest of a line from Exmouth right down through to the Eucla, even some thunderstorms to the south coast and also the central west. Now, heavy falls are still possible to the south coast tonight, but severe weather warnings have been cancelled. On to Wednesday, plenty of sunshine up there for the northern half of WA. We may however get some thunderstorms through here, sitting around these parts of the Pilbara, East Pilbara and across to the interior. Still some showers sitting to the west coast and also along those southern districts, and the rain may just start pushing into the lower goldfields through a period of the day. Thursday, now the showers will be increasing for southwestern districts, and rain may push up as far as the Gascoyne up that west coast, and thundery showers again are forecast for those patches through here, the Pilbara and also through to the interior. Ahead further till Friday, we've got a ridge of high pressure starting to move in from the west, so we should have a clearing trend in those skies. Some morning rain for the west coast and showers sitting west of Ayr along that southern coastline, but certainly looking a lot clearer. Sunny and southwesterlies are forecast for the Kimberley tomorrow. Derby's looking at that 34, 31 for Broome, 28 degrees for Port Hedland, but the chance of some rain for Exmouth, 26 degrees there. Cloudy and some possible rain for Carnarvon tomorrow, 22, while there is a high chance of showers up through the central west, even a possible thunderstorm, up to about 10 mils, and 19 is the forecast top there for Geraldton. Still a couple of showers further south, 18 for Bunbury, possible heavy falls overnight to the south coast, and tomorrow Albany just 13. A couple of mils moving up into the wheat belt, 15 degrees for Merredin. Rain and possible thunderstorms to the southeast coast. Esperance is looking at that 17, and showers may reach up and through here southern parts of the goldfields. Kalgoorlie is looking at 18 degrees. Northern waters now southwesterly should be fresh for most, up to around 20 knots. Conditions expected to start easing for western waters, but still a strong wind warning through here just off that Lewin coastline, while gale warnings have been issued for Albany waters and strong winds sitting east of that. Around the capitals, it's a sunny 20 for Canberra, and then for Perth, showers clearing and 18 degrees. Good night.
Thank you, Shauna, and that's GWN7 News for this Monday. We'll have updates for you a little later on this evening, and you can watch or re-watch our bulletins on YouTube anytime you like. For news anytime, go to gwn7.com.au. From our team right across the state, good night, Western Australia.